The year is 1996, and you're watching Almost Live from your living room, featuring Rick Rizzs and Dave Niehaus. 30 years later, full circle moment here for all of us. It's the start of the Mariners season as Rick Rizzs prepares to say
goodbye, baseball.
Yep, that
is. It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
Well, good morning and welcome to New Day. I'm Evenings, Chris Cashman, filling in for my great friend Kelly. We'll keep it warm for her. Normally you see me right here on King 5, but it's 7:30 on Evening, or Evening Magazine, as so many of you grew up watching it just like me. We're in our 40th season, but for today and tomorrow, I'm going to be right here, a morning person, with you on New Day. And producer Joseph tells me there's a bit of a tradition with guest hosts here on this show.
There is.
So talk about, let's...
Yeah, we're about to do a lightning round, but
okay.
I have so much fun working with you over on the evening side. And I know we've got some big things kind of coming up this year, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we're in our 40th season. There may or may not be some exciting changes or familiar changes coming to people. The biggest question I always get when I run into people on the street, other than to tell me they're excited, the show's still going, they say, you still have the seaplane? Yes, we do. We still have the seaplane. So I just want to put that out there because people are concerned.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing that plane soon. So, all right. Well, guest hosts on New Day, we love to do a lightning round with y'all to kind of just help everyone get to know you a little bit better. So, you ready?
Right. Sure.
All right. This is going to be quick. What's your star sign?
My star sign. You mean like Scorpio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Controversial. Pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza. I'm with it. Sweet and salty.
Great.
Let's go.
Coffee or tea?
Both. Start with coffee, then you phase into tea for the medicinal benefits.
All right. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird now. Used to be a night owl. Nah, that's bad. Sleep's good.
Good. All right. Mountain cabin or beach house?
Ooh, a mountain cabin or a beach house?
Or both.
I would say the beach house, by the ocean. Yep.
All right. Physical book or e-reader?
Physical book. I picked up the Never-Ending Story yesterday. Found it at a local bookstore, Queen Anne Books.
Oh, amazing. Call or text?
Text. I'd like to call more though. Let's call. Let's call again. Let's do that again.
Sweet or savory snacks?
I switched to savory. That's sweet, but I'm trying to kick that. Let's go savory.
What was your first concert you attended?
The first concert I attended, I think, was Naughty by Nature at Bumbershoot at Seattle Center.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's your most used emoji?
Probably the heart, realistically.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
My daughters,
Window seat or aisle seat?
Windows. I'm an aisle seat guy just because my legs reach out into the aisle. So an aisle seat.
Yeah, same. Dogs or cats?
I'm a kitty guy. I've got cats. I've had cats my whole life. Yeah.
Last question. If you weren't doing this job, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't doing this job, what would I be doing? Well, I'd be hosting evening, and if I wasn't hosting evening, I'd be hosting a kids show for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, great. All right.
Thank you, Joseph.
You did it.
It's time for the Home Plate Report, sponsored by Pemco Insurance, for the love of prevention.
All right, ready or not, Mariners baseball is back, and we're kicking off today's Home Plate Report with one of the most beloved voices in the game. He's called the biggest moments, the heartbreaks, the extra innings magic, and everything in between, and I mean everything. He has embarked on his 41st season and final season with the Mariners. Please welcome Rick Rizzs back to New Day. Rick, so great to see you.
Chris, great to see you too.
You're actually a neighbor of mine. I get to run into you in the wild every now and again. I cannot believe this is it. How do you even possibly put a cap on this incredible career of yours?
Well, it's been such a wonderful ride for me. 41 years with the Mariners, 52nd year in baseball, 8 years in the minor leagues, also 3 years with the Tigers, and I've been blessed to be able to do something I'd love to do ever since I was a kid growing up on the south side of Chicago. So everything that I do for the first time is going to be the last time, going to spring training, my last spring training.
Yeah, what are you going to miss the most here? This is such a habitual thing for you year after year.
I'm going to miss the camaraderie with the guys, the players in the clubhouse, the guys that I work with. Gary Hill Jr. has done a great job with me on radio, and of course Aaron Goldsmith on TV and the analysts. But guys like Dan Wilson, who have been around forever, as a player for 12 years, and now the manager of the ball club, and Edgar Martinez, with so many memories. Those two guys and that team in 1995 saved baseball here in the Pacific Northwest. Without those guys, we wouldn't be here. And then we have many great moments after that. So I'm going to miss, just being around the guys every day and the people I work with, and Greg Green, Kevin Martinez, Randy Adamak and all the people in the front office.
Your voice and your presence in the game is such a comfort blanket. It has been for decades for so many people. As you get ready to sort of wind things down, and you're looking back, how did all this get started? I mean, you still got plenty of time for a second act. How did you get pulled into broadcasting and doing this in the first place?
Well, Chris, I guess it started in my basement, when I was 12 years old. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. And I had the best of both worlds growing up. I had the Cubs during the day and the White Sox at night. And my mother Julie Rizzs was the greatest cook in the world. It's Italian sausage, meatballs, pasta. She'd be cooking. But she had a little black and white television set in the kitchen, and she was the biggest Cub fan in the world. So then I would go downstairs, turn on the TV set, and turn down the sound, and pretend I was Jack Brickhouse, who was the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Cubs. And I would do play-by-play, bases loaded, here's Ernie Banks. And my mom goes, what are you doing down there, Rick? Yeah, I go, Mom, I'm busy. Ernie Banks is up with the bases loaded. So, and then I wrote Mr. Brickhouse a letter when I was 12 years old, 1965, and he wrote me back this letter, and that kind of really got me going. And I went to Southern Illinois University, where I majored in radio and TV, got a job in the minor leagues 8 years, and Dave Niehaus liked my tape in 1983, and here I am. So I guess it started in my basement, but I just loved the game of baseball. We had a sandlot behind my house when I was a kid.
Wow.
And the movie
The Real Deal.
Sandlot.
I love the Sandlot.
Yeah, and I was out there with my buddies all day long, including the dog. We had Mo the German Shepherd, whose backyard was by third base, and every time the ball went in his backyard, my job was to get that ball, jump over the fence, get the ball, throw it back on the sandlot, jump over the fence, and keep playing with my buddies.
Wow.
I did it every time except one time. Mo got me right in my backside. But he let me go, and we kept playing because that's the only baseball we had. So anyway, I grew up loving the game.
Well, and you mentioned Dave Niehaus noticing your tape. You call so many big moments, especially alongside Dave. Do you possibly have a favorite moment, one of those that you look back on and say, I remember this day?
Yeah, Chris, there were so many. First of all, my first day in the big leagues in 1983, April of that year, and we're playing the Yankees and being alongside the greatest announcer in baseball, Dave Niehaus, and it was Gaylord Perry against Ron Guidry, and I'm no longer in Toledo, Ohio, or Savannah, Georgia, but 1995, sitting alongside Dave Niehaus when Edgar came up, little Joey Cora, 11th inning, and we're down by a run, 5-4. Randy Johnson came on in relief. And Joey Cora had the bunt base hit. Junior had a single up the middle. Here comes Edgar against Jack McDowell, and who struck him out on a forkball in the 9th inning. So now here he comes again, and he's looking for the forkball, and then Edgar hits the double down the left field line. Joey scores the tie-it-up. Junior flying around third, scores, and the Mariners win, and they beat the doggone Yankees in the American League Division Series. That put us on the map. So to watch Dave set it up beautifully, like if a line drive in the gap, and with Junior speed, the Mariners are going to win it. And there's a line drive to left field, and Junior scores, and the Mariners play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. So
I love that this is one of your favorite. Of course, a lot of fans, that is their favorite memories, but it takes me back to a very special moment personally. You were a several-time guest on Almost Live here on King 5. My dad was, of course, a part of that show. Yeah. And one of my favorite memories was related to that. It was in 1996 when you were looking back on that moment, and you appeared on the legendary comedy show Almost Live, and you were competing against the Low Key Broadcasting Network, and here's a little clip of that special moment from Almost Live.
Rick, if you don't mind, why don't you show us how to call a play, how you would do it. Now, we have a memorable one here from a game with the California last year that decided the Western Division Championship.
Yeah, this was a big play and a big ball game. Here's Luis Sojo, Mark Langston on the mound, swinging a broken bat ground ball, fair inside the bag at first, down the right field line, extra bases. Here comes Blowers. Here comes Tino. Here comes Joey. The throw in, cut off by Langston. Relay home, gets on by Andy Ellenson. Here comes Sojo. Sojo scores. Everybody scores. The Mariners take a 5-0 lead on the way to the West Division title. Everybody's going crazy in the Kingdom.
Wow! Wow! That is absolutely great. Now, for a contrast in styles, let's hear how Lance would make that same call.
Okay. Soho hits it. Looks like he broke his bat, but don't worry, they have lots more of those.
You're a wonderful
got more
sport.
of that.
Such a special memory. That is just one of the many reasons you become a part of the fabric of the community. How does that sit with you, knowing that you are a part of the Northwest forever?
It's great history right there. Your dad was so talented. That was Bob Nelson, the wonderful Bob Nelson, who was the local
Wrote
announcer.
and directed Nebraska, the movie. Yeah.
The one thing about baseball, it unites the community, especially when you play well. You know, we're your team. They're our fans, and they relate to all those players down through the years and the great moments. And, you know, what we did in 1995 was just amazing because it brought the whole community together. Now we have the most beautiful ballpark right across the street, got out of the Kingdome. Now we play at T-Mobile Park. So it's amazing to be a part of the history here for 41 years. I've been so blessed. And to work with Dave Niehaus was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because he got me here as a young broadcaster in 1983. After 9 years, went to Detroit for 3 years, tried to replace a legend, came back, and David got me back. And thank goodness I didn't miss the 1995 season.
Absolutely. It's as they say, a long and winding road, and it's very cool that you have been here behind the mic for all of it. Thanks so much for doing this. Congrats on your final season. This is just this is the beginning of the next act. I won't even ask you what you're going to do next because we'll just be watching and waiting.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to play it by ear, but I'm going to spend more time with my grandkids, and I'll still do something. I still want to be a part of this community and part of this organization. It's going to be fun. So
well, you're welcome back here anytime.
Okay, I'll be
Great
here
to
tomorrow.
see you. Okay, tomorrow it is. All right. Hey, we do also want to tell you about this Get Caught Reading with Cal promotion. This is cool. Cal Raleigh and Pumco Insurance, they teamed up to encourage kids across the Northwest to read, and you can learn more and you can become the heroes of their own stories. So from the ballpark to the backyard, this is, you know, bring a book along, basically, is the encouragement here. Then you just share a photo, tag Pemco Insurance, use the hashtag Caught Reading with Cal, and then you complete the entry form there for a chance to win some prizes. You can use the QR code, in fact, right there on your screen if you want to learn official rules and entry info. All right, next on New Day Northwest, it's time for spring cleaning, ready or not. Don't know where to start? Don't worry, we're breaking it down and making it easy with Be Organized. And later in the show, cookbook author Ham Awali joins us with a recipe for a dip you're going to want to take to every single party. And Easter is this Sunday. Jimmy Cook joins us to make centerpieces for your festive spread.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Pemco Insurance.
Well, good news. The days are getting longer. The sun is starting to shine more often, and that means all the stuff we have in our homes is more visible, especially the dust. So today we are going to do some little spring cleaning. We brought along Susan Albee, owner and organizer with Be Organized Seattle, give us some tips. Welcome back to New Day.
Thank you, Chris.
We
it's
got
great
to
to be here
get
again.
organized here. This is it. Go time. Where do we even start? Are you one of those people that likes to say, let's tackle it all, or let's break it into pieces?
No, I think most people can't tackle it all on a weekend, right? We don't have time for that, but we do have today about 6 areas that you can really tackle in about an hour or less.
Okay, I love that.
So why not start there, right? Start
okay.
somewhere. So let's talk about these. Ready?
Yeah.
So first spot, entryway, right? Everyone is coming and going out of one spot in your home.
Where you
whether
kick off
that's
our
from the
shoes
garage.
and dump your bags and throw everything down.
So
Sure.
now we're moving from winter to summer. Let's get rid of those winter boots. Let's get rid of those coats. Put those into a closet somewhere else in your world, right?
Okay.
Instead, get ready for spring. Bring out the baseball caps, the
Sure.
flip-flops, sunscreen, right?
Don't really think about that. Yeah, to sort of make the entryway more seasonal. There's certain things you're just not going to need this time of the year.
Absolutely. And one tip we like to give is have a bin for your returns. We all buy a lot of things online nowadays, right? So just having a spot with your tape, your scissors, your boxes, so that you can make those returns easier to get out of your house.
Okay.
They're inevitable. They need to leave, right?
And if anybody has kids, I know that's another component. The kids' crafts, there's always tape and things and stuff just everywhere.
Yes. So there's another area, kids' craft area, schoolwork area, whatever that area is, right? Now's the time. Less than an hour, you can go through, get rid of all those dried up markers, those crayons that are broken, shred or recycle that extra paper. And then recognize as you're going through things that not everything that kids make are masterpieces, right? We don't need to keep all of their things.
Sure.
So we like these memory boxes. This is my daughter's, but they're organized by age and date and stage.
Ooh,
so
I even
baby
see some
to toddler.
art in there.
Right. So we can keep or choose a few pieces of art to keep, but we don't have to keep everything.
Sure.
Right. But just springtime, good to just kind of filter through that stuff, and sometimes it's easier when they're not around.
Okay. I love all of this.
Yep.
What about the junk drawer? I don't know why that's a rite of passage, why every generation seems to have one. There is an example of a non-junk drawer. I would like to educate them on what a junk drawer looks like.
That is an
I have one of
organized junk
those.
drawer, right?
Mine I can usually cut myself in my junk drawer. There's so many loose, random items in there.
There is.
What's a pro tip for the junk drawer?
The junk drawer. Well, spring reset. Just clean it out, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of all the stuff that doesn't belong. Use Riddwell to recycle batteries.
Local company.
Things. They'll
recycle the things that you can't recycle the traditional way.
Yep.
Love Riddwell.
For most of us, we have cords, right, that belong maybe to a device we still own.
Sure.
Maybe
yes.
not.
Yes.
So good time to look through your cords, control those, label those. And then, have you ever seen these little guys before?
Oh boy, key
I know.
tags. Yeah, you know,
Who
it looks
has
like I'm checking into a motel.
Right? I mean, you don't need all of these, obviously, but do you have a bin of keys that you have no idea what they belong to?
Yes, sure, of course.
We all do, right? So, use a key tag, something like that. Make sure that those keys actually work or go to something that you currently own and use, right? Otherwise, recycle them.
One of the scariest things to clean but necessary, the fridge.
Yeah. Sometimes things go to die in the back of the fridge, right?
Yeah, some of my best science experiments are still growing in the back of my fridge.
Right. So, cleaning out the fridge is a task that nobody wants to do, but now's the time. Take it all out, remove the expired things, wipe it all down. But here's a couple tips to keep things handy and, just more available. The turntable, classic. All the condiments there, maybe at the back, but turning them around and using a turntable
Having a little
helps
lazy
you see.
Susan. That is smart. Okay, yeah, I need one of these.
And we love these berry bins. It's just a way to keep foods fresher longer, right? They can be stacked. And we're all trying to eat more healthfully, right?
Well, and we're entering farmers market season, so we can maybe do away with the containers and just get it
Putting
right from
them
the
into
source.
a bin, there's a little
That's great.
strainer apparatus in there that will just help it keep fresher longer.
Yeah.
Put those front and center. You open the fridge, there's your healthy options, right?
So sometimes it almost seems obvious, but just having some containers and things to organize, having a lazy Susan to make it more accessible makes a huge diff. You've got the donation box, and I know that often goes in line with the closet.
Yes.
How do we even, my closets,
I know.
You could get lost in there.
Can't we all, right?
Yeah.
So winter to spring. Here's our time to take all those winter clothes, put them into bins, into another closet, another area of your home, or at least move them out of what we call the prime real estate, which is that front and center space. I would challenge everyone to choose 5 things that they didn't wear.
Yeah, I was going to say, you a believer in that? That idea, if you haven't touched it in a year, or if you didn't wear these 5 things all season.
Then it can go, right? There's so many great places to donate to.
Yeah.
We love keeping just a donation box, just any cardboard box or container that you want to have. Just have it available in your garage, your closet, whatever. As you wear something or as you're looking and you realize you're not using it or don't want it, put it into the donation box. When that donation box gets full, that's the time to drop it off.
Okay, and this is a great time to do it, right? We don't associate April as being the tail end of winter, but with our weather, we've kind of needed those coats out a little extra longer, so this will be the time to
It's the time to do it, and these are just some areas that you can easily do, in less than an hour for sure.
And there's some people, though, that need a little bit of professional help. I mean, this is sort of easy and second nature to you, but there are a lot of people who would say, you know what, I could use her.
Yep.
How can people get some actual help?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to reach out through our website. It's beorganized.com. We do schedule and offer free assessments, so we can come and look at your home or do a Zoom assessment over the phone to see where you need help with. Most of the time that people reach out, they're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
There's too much, don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
So here's some good spots on where to begin, but we can certainly help with whatever area is needed.
Overwhelmed? She's got you.
I got you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks
Thank
for doing
you.
this.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, after the break, he is a nurse by day and a superhero by night. Seattle's Red Ranger joins me in studio with a very special mission built on compassion.
Hey brother, you doing okay? We got a lot of people camping out on the street tonight, and we just like to do safety checks. You guys doing okay tonight? Anybody need anything? We're the Seattle Superheroes. We just go around helping folks. I'm a nurse, if anybody needs to talk to a nurse about anything.
That's the cape-wearing first responder who leads Seattle's Emerald City Heroes organization. Red Ranger is one of the most interesting characters I've had the pleasure of covering, and I'm so thrilled he could join me in studio. Red, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
As I told you, I wanted to have you in here because you're hard to miss on social media, both on Instagram, you've gone viral on TikTok, but a lot of people might look at this and say, oh, this is just for fun. But there's so much more than that. I got to spend the night following you and your team around downtown Seattle. It was after dark, we saw some pretty raw things, but what really struck me was that you were the real deal and you were out there leading with compassion. Tell people why you're doing this.
So, we really just take the safety of our community to heart, and we just know that there's so much of our community that needs sort of that extension of compassion. And when we see that gap in our society, we want to be kind of the force that can fill that gap, right? So, whether we, see people who are suffering from social inequality, violence, injustice of all these different forms, when you're living in one of the most affluent cities in the country, but you still see that on your doorstep, it kind of sparks this resolve to go and do something about it. And so we just kind of wanted to be that symbol of hope and also the force of change kind of at the same time.
And you are volunteers, part of ECHO, the Emerald City Heroes organization. Really just good people. You get together, you go out, you work the streets, and you just engage people who maybe need a little bit of help. I've seen you feed people. I saw you feed animals. I saw you break up a fight. I saw you reunite somebody with their lost keys. So I know that you're the real deal. What do you say to the people who maybe don't take this that seriously? They think this is just a costume and don't realize that this is a bulletproof shield that you often wear, bulletproof vests, because this is for real. You've been in some scary situations.
For those who may not believe yet, stay tuned. We're going to keep going. We have no intention of stopping. I've been at this for about 13 years now. And we do take our job seriously. And, some people might think it's a little bit funny or silly or, kind of really out there. Sometimes that's kind of the point, we kind of want to draw attention. There's a few levels to that. One is to, kind of be a shock and awe deterrence to crime. The other is to kind of just get people's attention on the positive side of the issue. But these suits they might be flashy, but they're also functional, right? So, all my armor, while it's colorful, I like to say that every piece of armor I wear is because someone's tried to hurt me there before. No, we take it very seriously, and there's a lot of scary stuff out there, but it's not going to scare me away from helping my community.
Well, I think it's very admirable what you are all doing. Again, I understand it because I spent several hours with you out in the streets. I saw the realities of it. I should also point out that you're self-funded. Nobody's doing this. You guys are doing this on your own time. You're going out into the streets, but people can support you.
Correct. Yeah, we do accept donations from those who are super kind enough to donate to us. And but aside from that, no, this all comes from our own pockets. And I'm really fortunate to work with so many people that really care, that they want to sacrifice their time, their energy, their finances, and their willpower towards this common mission, and getting behind me like that. I'm really fortunate to have the team that I do, and I'm really fortunate to work in such a community like we have, where so many people are so supportive.
Red Ranger, thanks so much for what you're doing. I like that we get to keep your identity a secret. Just keep doing the great work. Thanks to the entire Emerald City Heroes organization for what you're doing.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, still ahead here on New Day Northwest. We'll take you aboard a flight with Seaport Airlines. Then we're going to meet a local photographer exploring the debate over graffiti in Seattle, whether it's more paint. Is that the answer? We'll find out. Seaport Airlines just launched a new service from King County International Airport Boeing Field to Felts Field in Spokane. It's twice as fast as I-5 with no crowds, no traffic, no TSA. The local Lens duo, Kelly Hansen and Jose Cedeno, took a flight to report back on the experience 30,000 feet up.
Today we are at Boeing Field because we have a little mission. We're going to
Spokane! We're excited to show you why you should book with Seaport Airlines. Let's go!
We're a regional airline operating in the Pacific Northwest, and we fly out of Boeing Field in Seattle. We connect to Portland, PDX, and we connect over to Spokane, Felts Field. You don't have to worry about parking. Parking's free. It's 100 feet away from the front door. People don't believe it when we tell them how easy it is, because there's no TSA. You can arrive 15 minutes before your flight. Pilot comes out and gets you, and you're on board.
My name is Katie Holm. I am a first officer here at Seaport Air on the PC-12. Smaller aircraft, which is nice. We have 9 seats in the back. That's how many people we can take. There's lots of leg room. You're not squished up to someone that you might not want to be squished up. Everyone gets a window seat, so everyone gets the view.
I've actually just took the flight for the first time today. It's really easy. I think it was maybe 2 minutes that I was at the counter.
Amazing way of bringing back the convenience and speed of the golden age of aviation. If you're going to go to Rome, if you're going to go to Tokyo, okay, great, I've got to deal with SeaTac. It's part of the trip. But if you're just going to Spokane or just going to Portland, it feels like a right-sized service that uses a small airport airport and uses a smaller aircraft to just get these quick flights through feels like the right size. The experience is about efficiency, about no wasted effort, and about getting to where you need to go quickly. We want our flight to be the least significant part of your day. You just get on the plane and you go.
I guess it's time to fly.
It's going to be a 58-minute flight, so here we go. It's official. We landed.
What did you think?
I thought it was fun. I mean, the view was spectacular.
I know.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm on first class. Like we're like right here, and then the pilot is right there.
Okay, we just landed in Spokane. What are we gonna do now, Kelly?
We have a lot of fun planned. We're actually gonna go to a popular coffee shop downtown.
Okay, I like that.
We're gonna go to the Davenport Hotel because their lobby bar, I hear, is iconic.
Ooh, bar, I like that.
Historic.
Okay,
I know, I knew
okay.
you like that. And we gotta go to the Riverfront Park. Let's have the fun begin.
And who's gonna pick us up, Kelly?
Well, we're gonna ride.
Do we need a Uber?
Let's Uber.
Now you know how easy. Thanks, Kelly and Jose. And now we are shifting gears to the topic of graffiti. Or is it vandalism? Or is it art? The two sides of this debate converge in a new book titled More Paint by local photographer Brendan Bai. He joins us now to share more. Thanks for being here, Brendan. This is cool.
Thanks,
Congrats
Chris.
on the book. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
appreciate
this. So why did you decide to do this?
Well, you know, I didn't really do it intentionally. It kind of came out of me walking the streets and photographing and getting to know the city, and it emerged out of instinct to understand my environment, really.
Your photographs are stunning. Talk about why you decided to kind of make this pivot. Yeah, at what point did you find sort of a unique purpose here?
Well, let's see. I think as I was walking around the city and I was seeing these cycles of removal and return, graffiti going up, paint going over the graffiti, more paint, encampments being swept and reassembling, I was trying to understand kind of what the driving forces, the invisible forces sort of pushing that loop were.
Yeah.
And more paint is an attempt to understand what those forces are.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, this is one of those bona fide debates. Some people see paint and graffiti and murals as beautification, and some people see it as just vandalism. How do we find a compromise here, do you think?
Well, I'm not sure if there needs to be a compromise. I think that people are allowed to have different responses to what they see in the streets. Some people see disorder and a loss of innocence in Seattle. Some people see a humanitarian crisis with the folks who are living out there struggling, and some people completely ignore it. And I understand all perspectives, and More Paint is really about trying to accept or realize maybe what the conditions that we're living in are part of a bigger constellation of invisible forces.
This project, amongst other things, has some roots in Buenos Aires. How does it tie in here to Seattle?
Yeah, well, in Buenos Aires and in other parts of the city, street art and poverty are metabolized into the landscape. But in Seattle, we're still chewing on these issues and trying to learn to live with them or not. I think, you know, we see these new issues as problems, and our attempt to solve them is a natural instinct. But I think that first we have to sit with the problems, look at them, and maybe root cause before we can try to apply any solutions.
As you're documenting with these photos and the things you're seeing, a lot of these are just things that the average person walks by, right? And some of us even assumes that's just graffiti. Sometimes there is symbolism and messages. Do you remember any moments where you were struck by something you saw that was just a simple message, a simple piece of something sprayed on a wall that just, I know that your book is kind of filled with a lot of these kind of poignant things that you captured.
Sure, yeah. Sometimes, you know, graffiti is unintelligible to anybody who's not familiar with what is going on there. Sometimes it's very pointed. There's an image in the book where some paint is written on a wall and it says incoming condos, overpriced condos incoming. And it's written on these sort of ruins where a former supermarket in Chinatown International District was Viet Hoa had burned down. And there are images like that in the book that show that graffiti often is a political statement. When I was in Buenos Aires, there was a graffiti writer who I ended up meeting who writes "No me baño," and that translates to "I don't bathe myself." And I thought it was a political message because often that graffiti framed up scenes of poverty on the streets. And when I reached out to them and I asked, "Is this a political thing?" He said, "No, we just grew up kids not washing ourselves, and that was the graffiti that we decided to write." So,
wow.
But that kind of connected the dots for me, and it gave me the idea that graffiti, and this isn't an original idea, but it's happening here in Seattle, and we're getting used to it. The idea that graffiti and homelessness are symptoms of a sick society.
Right. And art, of course, interpretation is a big part of it. So you capturing, we should let folks know that you actually have a special event coming up at Elliott Bay Book Company. Tell us about what's going to be happening.
Yeah, well, at Elliott Bay, I'll be doing a reading from the book and having a Q&A. There's still sort of some formatting going on. I've got potential panel discussion with somebody named Eric Bell, who runs a cleanup program called A Cleaner Alki. I've been in coordination with Real Change and potentially having one of their representatives on the panel. So TBD on whether or not that'll be at the Elliott Bay or Town Hall in the future.
Well, very cool. It's great work you're doing. Thanks for documenting this. And again, you've got that event coming up at Elliott Bay Book Company. What's the best way for folks to follow along other than to pick up a copy of More Paint?
Yeah, More Paint's on Instagram at More Paint, More Paint.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks
for your great work. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, florist and the man with the flair for decor is back. He's sharing ideas for Easter, centerpieces that will keep your guests talking and maybe even snacking.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Seaport Airlines.
Setting an Easter table can seem intimidating, but our next guest is here to prove that's wrong. Florist and home decor store owner Jimmy Cook is back to help me make an Easter centerpiece. Jimmy, thanks for being here and for bringing all of this bounty.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Where do we even start here? This is incredible. I like at face value, you said, hey, we don't need stuff to be thrown away. We can create centerpieces from the earth.
Yeah, and a lot of my clients will come in and say, like, how can I do some natural things? And the big and best thing about this arrangement is that it's non-toxic to the environment.
Okay.
So we're not using any of the floral foams or anything. What we're just gonna need is 2 vases, some cabbage, and we're good to go.
A lot of seasonal stuff here, seasonally appropriate ingredients here, okay?
Yeah. So to kind of start, always what I tell everyone is a grid is always your best. So you're gonna use some tape.
Okay.
And the biggest trick with this is you always have to do a ring around the edge because tape won't stick to glass.
Okay.
So if you start doing it.
Oh, so you got to stick tape to tape.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly like that. So you wrap it around and then at the end.
Oh, I see. You
comes out
created
like
a little tiny grid there.
Yep.
Almost like a pencil holder so that your stems can fit in there. Okay.
So here's the biggest mistake that most people do. They don't put the vase in. They just start putting carrots in. So then it's falling all over the place.
Oh, it's too late. Yeah.
Yep.
You need to reserve that space.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then you take the carrots. I want to use this foliage because I think it's really cool. So I'm going to save.
Is there any time sensitivity to these ingredients? I mean, how early can I make this before I have a stinky centerpiece?
Yes, I would say the day before for the cabbage.
Okay.
With the carrots and the greenery, this one, it's going to wilt on you kind of quick. So I would say do this morning of.
Okay.
But the carrots, just slide them in. They're going to be great. And it'll be a little tippy at first, but it's okay. We're going to pack them in there, and you're going to quickly layer them around. So the more you layer, you want it really packed in there.
Okay.
Okay? And then what it'll do is it'll look more like this guy, which is all packed up with the carrots. You can't see the vase. You get to kind of have fun and do all that stuff, which I think is a blast.
So you're like making a picket fence out of carrots here for your bouquet.
Exactly.
Okay. I love it.
Exactly. So the one thing, though, that I feel like everybody needs when they're doing arrangements is different fragrances.
Sure.
And a lot of times people will just go to the store, they're just going to buy a bunch of stuff and then go. But my little trick for everything is always strip clean some mint. You'll cut it down. And then what I do is I just slide it into the littlest of spots.
So you're putting your own air fresheners in there. You're adding some mint to this bouquet.
Exactly. And I just kind of let it tuft out because then what's going to happen at the table, people are going to go, what's that good smell? other than the food. It's going to be the mint.
Yeah.
It's going to smell amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk about choosing flowers that are going to bloom. What specifically do you mean by that?
Yeah. So a lot of times people will go to the store and they will buy the biggest bloomed out flower.
Right.
That's the worst decision because it's the one that's going to die first.
Okay.
So what I always like to do is I like to buy like tight lilies, tight tulips, those kind of things, and I tuck them down into the arrangement. And what you'll notice is the lilies are already starting to bloom out, so they're going to start opening. So if you do this arrangement about 3 days before your table, it'll be in full bloom, and then you'll have some other ones that are coming up through it, and it'll look incredible. It's a lot of fun. And it's a good gift idea because people are like, oh my gosh, the tulips kept growing. They kept going. Yeah.
Okay. So this is sort of show and tell, but also a prove it opportunity. I mean, you're saying this is something everybody can do.
Oh, yes. Everybody can do it. You most definitely can do it.
Okay.
So this is my one favorite tool in the entire flower shop. It's called the rose stripper.
I thought that was a pepper mill, okay?
Yeah.
No fresh pepper.
So what you do is you just take it, slide it around.
Oh, wow.
Your entire rose is cleaned. You don't have to worry about thorns, any of it. This is a big saver for your hands when you're like going through the roses and everything.
Wow, okay.
So makes it super fast. And then let's say you've made up your little gridded arrangement. You're good to go. You want to slide it into your cabbage. This is what I would do like the day before or even the morning of to slide it in. And then you just cut it out, hollow it out, take it in. I mean, get your kids. Tell them it's like cabbage jack-o'-lanterns.
If you gamify anything,
yes,
it becomes
exactly
much more fun.
And then you just slide it in. So when you're done with the cabbage, take it out, put the arrangement somewhere else, toss the cabbage away.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, and where would you source so many of these things? I mean, obviously that's grocery store, but I mean, are there any tips on that? Is this something that you're using kind of for an alternate purpose here?
Yeah, so what I would say with the flowers is some of the wholesale markets that are around Seattle will actually sell retail. And I do recommend it. The Seattle Wholesale's growers area, they actually sell direct to retail, and those are local florists and local farms. You could definitely find some local farms for yourself as well. I will say, Trader Joe's has an amazing selection of flowers. There are times that I go into Trader Joe's and I'm like, how did they get these? They'll have amazing David Austin roses, all that kind of stuff, great scent. So that's a really quick and easy way to do it. But the key is you want texture. Like you want to pick things that give you a lot of variety and not just doing all roses or all this one type of flower. You want to see that. You want to think
better to buy these things individually than to buy a bouquet and take it apart and reassemble it?
Yeah, the big thing is the traffic time for that flower bouquet. Think about it. The ones that are just put into a bucket of water, they're ready to go, it's a bundle, or the ones that were taken apart, cut apart, grouped together, thrown back in a bucket, they get a little beat up after a while. So we want the freshest ones.
Is there anything that we can do to these once you put them out? Like you said, there is a shot clock on something like this. Is there anything we can do to help encourage preserving them?
I think the biggest thing about flowers, and this is a viral clip that has gone around and I've been seeing it for a while, is that they're a reminder that time is fleeting.
Yeah.
And the biggest and best gift I think to give somebody is a beautiful arrangement, because it's like, I love you so much, but it's going to go away. And that's just the way things are. So they're a reminder that time is fleeting, enjoy the time, and make them. Just have fun with them.
I like that. So it's a centerpiece that is here just for a short time.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for right now.
Exactly.
Some symbolism here. Thanks so much, Jimmy.
Yeah,
How
of
cool. We
course.
appreciate this. All right. I know they're inspired. What do you think? Up next, we've got a recipe for some delicious new dip from a new cookbook, Hello Home Cooking. The author joins us right on the other side of this. And welcome back. If you think you know the best garlic and herb spread, think again. This morning we are joined by the culinary mastermind behind his new cookbook, Hello Home Cooking. Author Ham El-Waylly is here to show us why his better than Boursin, or you say Boursin dip.
I say
right?
Boursin. You want to feel classy when you're having Boursin.
And we do want to. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being back. How fun is this? Tell us what you're going to make today. You said it's easy. You had me at easy, and this looks delicious.
Yeah, so it's super easy, and it's something that you can do right on TV, no problem, no heat, you don't need anything.
Okay.
So cheese dinners are a special thing for a lot of millennials.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people as well. It's our version of the Quaalude. It's like a way to relax and chill at the end of the day. And so I wanted to do a version of my favorite cheese spread, which is boursin. There's a garlic and herb one. You spread it on top of crackers, on toast. It's delicious.
Wow.
But this one is one that you can make entirely on your own, and you just need a handful of ingredients. The key part of this recipe is something called labna. So labna is a hung yogurt. So you take like a Greek yogurt, wrap it in cheesecloth or something, you hang it for a while, and that excess whey drips out.
Wow.
And then you end up with something that is like a cream cheese type of texture, but it's not as heavy. It's a lot lighter because it's made from yogurt.
It's a byproduct. Wow, okay.
So you get a really nice tang. So this is one of my favorite ingredients. It's great for breakfast. It's great to be seasoned up like this and it becomes a dip.
Yeah.
It's so versatile. Another version, side note, just really quick between you and me.
Okay, nobody.
You can turn this into dessert. I love
Now you have all of our attention.
Yes, I love doing the labna with the whipped cream. You do a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of vanilla. Serve it with some graham crackers. You got a cheesecake dip.
Okay, all right. Cheesecake.
So that's just a bonus. That's a bonus
you found my
recipe
weakness.
just thrown in there.
Fair. And this is all goes kind of in theme of your new cookbook.
Exactly. I wanted to make really interesting, approachable food using ingredients that you can find in your everyday grocery store, but I wanted to make them a little bit more exciting.
Great.
I have a very diverse background, so I wanted to draw from all of that to make something new.
Love it. Okay.
All right.
And this is one of those.
This is one of those.
Okay, great.
So let's start. We've got a room temperature labna, and then here I've just got some cream, and we're gonna whip it. We're gonna whip it, and we're gonna whip it, and then eventually,
through the magic of television.
Through the magic of television, we got whipped cream.
Okay.
So we're looking for this kind of texture. You don't want it to be
What are we talking about? Is that going to take a minute, 2 minutes?
I would say 3 minutes.
Okay.
I would say 3 minutes.
All right. So good
And
cardio.
then- yeah, it's really, really good cardio.
right,
You
great.
got to work for your dip. So we got that beautiful texture whipped cream. And then from here, really, you're just mixing things together. So
Okay.
you got your whipped cream, my labna. I'm going to add that.
By the way, as you're combining this, tell us where we can find the cookbook.
Well, you can find the cookbook online, your independent bookstore. I know locally Book Larder, a fantastic
Great.
cookbook-based bookstore, is
I was
carrying
just at
it.
Queen Anne Book Company yesterday. We're going to make sure they get you in stock there as well.
Amazing.
Great. Okay. So, of course, online, but your local bookstores.
Your local bookstore. Always support your local bookstore. They need the help.
Speaking of support, we had your wife Sola on the show. How is she?
She is fantastic. She's, holding it down at home, taking care of our baby, who is, I think she was 6 months old when she was last here.
Wow.
She's now 2 years and 6 months.
You just blink.
Yeah, you blink and it's like, wow, we have an adult in the house.
All right. Well, congrats to the growing family. We love this.
Thank you. So now that I've incorporated the labna and the whipped cream together, I'm going to add my herbs.
Okay.
So you can use really any mix of herbs that you like. You can do scallion, you can do parsley, you can do dill, you can do chive.
What's the pro using?
I am doing a mixture of parsley, dill, and chive because that's very similar to the blend that boursin uses.
Okay.
So we're going to pop that in. And now fold that in. You want to incorporate all of the herbs evenly into the cream. Oh, it smells good already. It smells like...
It does. I suddenly am getting that smell.
You're getting that whiff.
That's the dill, right, that I'm
That's
smelling?
the dill.
Is that what that is? Okay.
The dill and the chives. And it's that same smell of when you pop open that foil pouch, you get a whiff of the garlic and the herbs.
Sure.
It's very similar to that. And now we add our grated garlic. Grated because no one wants to really chop up garlic. It's a lot easier, a lot faster. And there we go.
How long does it take you to develop a recipe like this? Like you said, taking things that maybe you like and wanting to give them a little more zhuzh or something exciting.
It really comes down to the recipe. Something like this I can get down in a day because it's easy to make multiple versions of it. So once I get the ratio of cream to labna right, I would just make a large batch of that and then try different ratios of mix-ins. But something like the focaccia recipe that's in here, and it's like a 3-day ferment, so it's a much longer process, so that can take weeks to develop.
You mentioned focaccia, you've got some dips. What are some of the other highlights in Hello Home Cooking?
Well, I was really inspired by those vintage Betty Crocker cookbooks.
Yeah.
And those cookbooks have everything. They've got breakfast, they've got dinner, they've got snacks, they've got things for Thanksgiving, they've got little notes on how to use cauliflower. So I wanted to incorporate all of that. So this is a book that you can flip to any day of the year, any time of the day, and then find a recipe that you can make for that time of day.
And the importance of putting out a physical book. It probably was tempting for you to just put this on social media. I can just post my recipes, but to put it down and to make it official and to bind it and to have it out there, like you said, to maybe be one of those cookbooks
Yeah, it's
many years from now. Why did you decide to make it a physical book?
I felt like there was a larger story to tell besides just the recipes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of autobiographical information in the cookbook as well. So I feel like a lot of information gets lost these days on social media because you have 3 seconds to hook someone and you've got 1 minute and 30 seconds to say what you got to say, and that's it. And most of the people don't even listen to all of that.
Right.
So I wanted to weave this narrative of like my history, my story, how I learned to cook, why I cook this way, along with the recipes to add a lot of context. Because I feel like once you know a lot of the whys and you know the stories behind a lot of things, you just connect with it a lot more. That's why people are so drawn to food they grew up with, because they know that context. They know the world that they lived in when they were eating those foods. So I wanted to create this world that I lived in when I created these recipes so people could live in it with me.
I love that. I love the backstory. It's nice when you have a little soul in your food like this.
Exactly.
So this is it. It's done through the magic of television. We've got some of this dip right here, and that took, what, even if we included the whipping, that was like, what is this, a 5-minute recipe?
It's a 5-minute recipe. And we did it while we were talking, hanging out.
Wow, style point, chef. We love this. All right, well, then we're going to dive in here, and I guess this is where we say goodbye to the audience. This is the only bittersweet part of it. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, I'm going to bring the energy back up. Thanks for hanging out with us today on New Day. We had a lot of fun. You know, you can subscribe on YouTube. You make sure you download the King 5 Plus for free. We don't want you to miss any of this recipes. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your new day. Look for the crew on evening tonight at 7:30. Shameless plug. We'll see you next time.